Good day, everyone. I am Mr. Ishitu Tasfai, your biology teacher. This is grade 12 biology, week 15 lesson. The lesson for this week will be chapter 35, lesson 4, immune system disorders. Your textbook page 1024 to 1026. Lesson objectives. At the end of this lesson, you should be able to explain what happens when the immune system overreacts to harmless pathogens and describe autoimmune disease. As we discussed earlier in this chapter, a healthy immune system accurately distinguishes self from others and responds appropriately to dangerous invaders in the body. Sometimes, however, the immune system's weaponry is misdirected at the body's own cells. Other times, the immune system itself is disabled by the disease. What happens in these cases? Well, we are going to answer this question in this lesson. Let's start with the first section of the lesson, which is when the immune system overreacts. How can misguided immune responses cause problems? A strong immune response to harmless antigens can produce issues like allergies, asthma, and autoimmune disease, which we will discuss later one after the other. When the immune system attacks the body's own cells, it produces an autoimmune disease. The immune systems of some people overreact to harmless antigens such as pollen, dust mites, mold, pet dander, and possibly their own cells. Allergies or allergic reactions. Allergies are caused by antigens known as allergens. A common allergen is pet dander, which is dead skin shed from cats and dogs. When allergens enter the body of people affected by allergies, they trigger an inflammatory response by causing mast cells to release histamines. If this response occurs in the respiratory system, it increases mucus production and causes sneezing, watery eyes, a runny nose, and other irritations. Drugs called antihistamines help relieve allergy symptoms by counteracting the effect of histamines. With that being said, let's now turn our attention to the second uh, problem related to overreaction of the immune system. It is asthma. What is asthma? Allergic reactions in the respiratory system can create a dangerous condition called asthma. Asthma is a chronic disease in which air passages narrow, causing wheezing, coughing, and difficulty breathing. Both hereditary and environmental factors influence asthma symptoms. Asthma attacks can be triggered by respiratory infections, exercise, emotional stress, and certain medications. Other triggers include cold or dry air, pollen, dust, tobacco smoke, pollution, molds, and pet dander. Severe asthma can lead to permanent damage or destruction of lung tissue if treatment is not started early enough or if medications are not taken properly. There is no cure, but people with asthma can sometimes control the condition. If the attacks are caused by an allergen, tests can identify which allergens cause the problem. Inhaled medications can relax smooth muscles around the airways and relieve asthma symptoms. Now to the third type of autoimmune disorder, which is autoimmune disease. Sometimes a disease occurs in which the immune system fails to properly recognize self and it attacks cells or compounds in the body as though they were pathogens. Autoimmune diseases are a case of mistaken identity in which the body's immune system, which primarily attacks intruders like viruses and bacteria, attacks its own body cells. When the immune system attacks the body's own cells, it produces a condition called autoimmune disease. Examples of autoimmune disease include type 1 diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis, and lupus, among others. In type 1 diabetes, antibodies attack insulin-producing cells in the pancreas. In rheumatoid arthritis, antibodies attack connective tissues around the joints. And lupus is an autoimmune disease in which antibodies attack organs and tissues, leading to areas of chronic inflammation throughout the body. This diagram illustrates the difference between normal immune response and autoimmune disease, which is a kind of disorder. Now, in the normal immune response, as you can see, a virus or any intruder enters the body. Then the immune system cells, especially the lymphocytes, create antibodies to fight the invader. The plasma cells, as we have discussed last time out, the plasma cells produce antibodies, Y-shaped compounds, which will fight back the intruders like viruses, bacteria, and others. While in the autoimmune disease, it creates antibodies that attack your own cells. And this condition happen, the autoimmune disease happen because of three main reasons. One, a foreign substance resembles bodily substances. Okay. Second, normal body cells become altered for one reason or another. And finally, lymphocytes malfunction. Okay, they function wrongly and make abnormal antibodies, which kills own body cells. Symptoms of autoimmune disease. General symptoms may include fatigue, low-grade fever, weight changes, dizziness, muscle and or joint pain and swelling, difficulty concentrating on something, skin rash, digestive issues, and a general feeling of being unwell. Causes of autoimmune disease. Possible causes of autoimmune disease include 1. Infectious disease. It is thought that autoimmunity may occur when a component of a virus or bacteria resembles proteins in the body, upregulating the immune system. 2. Environmental factors. Lack of sunlight, vitamin D deficiency, chemical exposure, and other environmental factors have been linked to different types of autoimmune disease. 3. Lifestyle. Smoking appears to triple the risk of developing rheumatoid arthritis, and also obesity is considered a pro-inflammatory state that may account for its role as a risk factor. The Western diet, which is high fat, high sugar, high protein, and high salt, in general is thought to possibly promote the development of autoimmune disease. 4. Gut bacteria. Research shows that there is a connection between the bacteria that live in the person's digestive tract or gut flora and a number of health conditions including autoimmune disease. And finally, genetics. Several autoimmune diseases appear to run in families to varying degrees, with research in progress looking at specific genes. Risk factors of autoimmune disease. Risk factors include sex, age, weight, ethnicity, geography, smoking, and medications. Treating autoimmune disease. Some autoimmune diseases can be treated with medications that alleviate specific symptoms. For example, people with type 1 diabetes can take insulin. Other autoimmune diseases are treated with medications that suppress the immune response. However, these medications also decrease the normal immune response and must be monitored. Finally, let's discuss how to cope with autoimmune disease. 1. Eat a healthy diet. For those who have diabetes, monitoring diet is critical. Yet for others with autoimmune disease, it is important to learn about how to have a healthy gut bacteria. 2. Practice good sleep hygiene. Get an adequate amount of rest every night and try to wake up and go to sleep at the same time each day. Third, exercise. Mild to moderate exercise is important for most people, but not pushing it hard and knowing when to stop is also important. 4. Practice stress management. Stress management is helpful when coping with any medical condition, and especially important with a stressful condition such as autoimmune disease. 5. Know your triggers. With some conditions, there are triggers that are associated with flares of the disease. It is helpful to identify them and then look at ways to reduce the exposure.